Yo, 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 what is going on, IK Familia? It is your boy coming in, Mr. Scruffy Status today. Yeah, yeah. All right, we're going to be going over the official 2.0 patch notes that were released yesterday. Unfortunately, I had so much stuff going on, I just didn't have a chance, as you guys know I usually do on the day after that the patch notes are released. But without further ado, let us go ahead and jump right in to covering a full review on everything. I actually have only done a brief read through. So, again, this is going to be like a first full read through for all of us. Before we get started, as always, if you enjoyed the content, make sure you sub, like, ring the notification bell. And if you want to join our conversation, hit up the Discord. You can find that in the pinned comment and description down below. Okay, so here we go. Patch 2.0. The Illusion Battlefield was previously a mystical land where two alliances would fight each other for the great treasure of Hornheim. With patch 2.0, however, Illusion Battlefield becomes staging ground for the Prime League, which is basically going to be the Illusion Battlefield League / tournament that we ended up alluding to back when we did the dev meeting. Okay, new features. Passive skill and artifact presets. This is cool. This is something that many of us have asked for when it came to just more customization, right? Being able to kind of customize and do presets, not only for March comps, but doing presets for skills that they ended up adding a few more pages in for. Now extending that to more formation customizations when it comes to doing your skills, and then also having your artifacts, right? So you can see here when rearranging, each preset team is completely independent of others. Preset teams do not affect each other. Preview, right? Open the drop-down menu to view the status details. The icons in the drop-down menu will be detailed information. You tap the scroll the artifact icon to do a swap out. This is cool, right? You can see here that you can even name, like if you want to name this Siege, if you want to name this PvP, if you want to name this, whatever it may be, right? Garrison, Garrison Breaker or something, right? You can at least decide what you want to do. You can do the customizations here, and you have all your marches in kind of a nice, easy interface, it looks like. So I'm actually a big fan of this. Definitely a W. Okay, this is going to be the big one. So this is Illusion Battlefield Prime League, right? So it's going to be held once per week. And the Illusion Battlefield will continue to be held as a regular league with some modifications. While Prime League is ongoing, the regular league will continue, which is basically the one we have now, and will be held usually once every 2 weeks. So the idea is that they'll rotate week to week, is based on what we've understood. Eligibility. Server unlock Chronicle 21 Royal Ambition. The server has been open for at least 30 days. This is pretty standard, right? We've been seeing this with things such as like Forge, unlocking artifacts, right? You kind of have to wait for some of the later Chronicles to hit. Alliance. In eligible servers, the Alliance is ranked in the top 20, which is pretty standard as well, of rankings, and which have at least 40 active members can take part in Prime League. Cool. Competition phases. The Prime League consists of 4 phases. The prep phase, which is 2 days, pre-league, 70 days, pre-battle phase, which is 7 days, and playoffs, which is 66 days. This is long, so let's see where we're going to go, but maybe it's necessary. Alliances can start prepping. Pre-league consists of 10-point race matches. Each alliance can take part in up to 8 matches. Alliances will win points based on their performance and be ranked. This is important. Be ranked, and maybe they'll touch on this later, but this is something that we asked about, which is like coming out with a ranking system. And when you heard me doing my kind of audio transcript of how the dev meeting went, this was a big thing, right? Being able to see the ranking for even just all the current alliances, who has the best win-loss, maybe some more detailed breakdowns, how many points do they have, right? How many top 10 alliances maybe do they have wins again? Are they above 500, below 500? Having like win percentages, even the win-loss ratio percentages, even stuff like that is great, right? It's more kind of statistical content to consume that people would enjoy. And so this seems like they're going to add a ranking system to the IB League, which they did also confirm with us that they were looking into when it came, when they were explaining these things in the dev meeting. The top 64 alliances will be promoted to the playoffs. That's cool. Pre-battle phase. Alliances promoted to the playoffs can modify their list of participating members and select a battle time. This is at the pre-battle phase, right? Now, again, it says only when promoted, so maybe you may not be able to do that during the regular league matches up until then. Playoffs consist of a group elimination stage and top 16 duels. At the end, the champion and the runners-up of the Prime League will emerge. Okay, cool. Registration. Each round of the Prime League lasts for 7 days. The pre-league includes a rest and relaxation phase 5 days, a registration phase 1 day, and battle phase. So kind of if you're looking at it on a weekend scale, maybe let's say you go Monday through Friday, rest, Saturday prep, Sunday play. Just to give an example. Registration is held every Saturday, 0 to 24 UTC. Each alliance must select the battle time and submit a list of participating members. Playoffs. Registration is held every Monday to Saturday, 24 UTC. Each alliance can only modify its list of participating members. Okay. Eligibility. Registration eligibility is locked at the start of registration. Any changes to the alliance power rankings or number of active members after registration has already started will not affect registration eligibility. This makes sense to me, right? You wouldn't necessarily want people to come in and do like a super big boost of power or something before it goes in, so they kind of lock it in at a certain time. I think that makes sense. For the pre-league, alliances which meet eligibility requirements before Sunday will be able to register. Okay. Participating members. The alliance leader must finish appointing the list of participating members and substitute before. Okay, that's pretty standard. The alliance leader can appoint up to 40 participating members and 20 subs, standard. The alliance leader can appoint up to 30 participating members and up to 5 substitute. A maximum of 10 changes can be made after registration ends. Registered alliances will no longer be able to change. This is interesting. So you're now going to have 10 less participants in playoffs compared to pre-league. This one confuses me, because why would you change the amount of overall players if it's like if you practice playing with up to 40 participants all the time, why would you then switch it in playoffs and go to 30? That's like saying, well, we practice soccer games with 11 people on the field, but now we're going to play with 9 once we make it to the tournament. I don't know about that. I'm hoping I'm reading that wrong, but if that's the case, that just seems like a wrench thrown out of nowhere. Choosing a battle time. The alliance leader must choose a battle time. All participants can only enter the battlefield during the time. Okay, I feel like I just read something redundant. There are 2 available times. Battle times for pre-league, 14:20. Playoffs. Ooh, they give you more times in playoffs. Okay, cool. If that's the case, why not give more times in pre-league? Like, what's the difference there? Or why not have the times be consistent, right? Again, this is I think, I feel like I'm noticing a trend here. It's very important to be consistent when you're setting times up. If that's what everyone is practicing, why not keep that? And you have to also consider, if you're doing it at 14 and 20, why aren't these included in the playoffs? They're not. You have 5 different times, even though, yes, each of them are an hour apart. Maybe you have people that make time out of their day and reshuffle and reschedule things around to try and make these times. So again, be consistent with the times. This doesn't really make any sense to me. Sure, it's great that you're having more times available, but be consistent with what you do pre-league and what you do in playoffs. Unregistering. An alliance leader can unregister their alliance at any time before pre-league registration ends. After unregistering, they can modify the list of participating members and substitutes before re-registering. Okay. I feel like that just makes sense. Unit settings. In the Illusion Battlefield, Prime alliances compete on a level playing field. All participants must preset their units before the competition starts. Participants can only use Immortals, Dragons, and troops provided by the Prime League. The Prime League also has strict rules on which boosts apply during the competition. Interesting. So they're kind of setting minimums? Or I guess they're setting maximums. All provided Immortals are at level 40 and class 20 with maxed star grade. The Immortals can also come pre-equipped with Epic Plus equipment that has been enhanced to level 40. Equipment and resonance will also be applied. Before entering the battlefield, participants can use Violet of the Void to upgrade the Immortal passive skills. Participants will be provided with 50 free Violet of the Void every 7 days. Passive skills can be reset for free without limit. After entering the battlefield, passive skills cannot be upgraded or reset. Instead, participants can only switch between skills they currently have. Okay, so if I'm reading this right, it looks like they're just going to come out and say, hey, we're just going to give you a bunch of preset stuff, and they're all going to be at a maximum cap, but we're going to give you some areas to customize, which is going to be, it looks like skills, right? Where they give you some of these shards to use for those. Fire, Earth, Wind, Lightning, Dragons will be available at level 40 with all skills upgraded to 10. Participants can use troops provided by the Prime League. A set number of troops will be provided each. These troops will all be royal. Participants can decide how to allocate troops among the different troop types. Participants can heal these troops during the competition. Outside the battlefield, each unit's power is estimated based on max capacity. Actual power would depend on how the troops are allocated. Okay. Boost for less technology, territory academy, Lord talents, VIP level building will not take effect. Okay, interesting. Only combat bonuses obtained by using items will take effect on the battlefield. Okay, interesting. So it seems like they're really trying to go like a regulation route where they basically want to give everyone the same stuff, but then they give you a little bit here to customize. And they let you choose what troop types you think are more important, or more important for you to use overall, and then obviously with any of the skills that kind of come with that, or I should say the active skills that they give you for playing an Illusion Battlefield. So again, it's interesting because I think there's pros and cons to this. I think if you look at how Illusion Battlefield is set up right now, where you can make the argument that it's not, for the most part, right. I mean, if you're like some of the top teams, especially now, like if you think about how early in a game's lifespan. Right, the game right now is not even a year and a half old. If you think about you get an alliance together that just has 40 of some very high spenders, and you think about the next alliance down from that, it is one of those things where they're just going to be able to hit those maximum levels sooner than others will. Of course, over time they'll eventually catch up, depending on how much time and how much they grind. But if you think about how current Illusion Battlefield is set up, is that there are advantages just because you're able to gain power higher, especially with the level increases now going to 50. It probably costs even more just to kind of go from 0 to 50 than obviously before it did from 0 to 40. So you think about that and why they're doing it this way. I will say I do lean a little bit in this direction for what they're doing, because one, I think allowing for everyone to have a certain baseline that you operate from, and then allowing customizations to be done based on like again giving the shards for which skills you want to upgrade. I think that's a great idea. I think it's a way that still allows for a little bit of customization, and maybe they'll add some more onto it after getting feedback. But what I will say is that doing it this way will actually be able to see who has the best strategy, who has the best tactics, instead of it being a mix of strategy and tactics and then a portion over here that is, oh, well, we're just stronger than you, right? We just have, better unlocked immortals, or we have higher troop power than you, or we have, all maxed talk skills for, 2 or 3 of our marches, so we can hit you, just as strong. And so again, like I said, I think there's pros and cons to both. But I will say that I do like this format. I'm very interested to see how it plays out. I don't know if it's something that I would say maybe would be a staple or would stay for a long time, so to speak, because I would love to see how it actually looks going into the first league. But when I think about all of these factors and how they're doing it this way, I do lean a little bit more here. Right. Again, I think as long as some levels of customization are able to be made and some level of choice and decision is able to be made, even if a baseline is set for everyone, is absolutely needed. And so whether or not they'll need to add in more ways to customize or more ways to kind of choose, pick your poison, so to speak, we'll see. But this is cool. I actually think this is a good idea. Okay, rewards, pre-league rewards, include victory rewards, constantly. Okay, so we got rewards, choose 2 battle times, will earn bigger battle. Okay, alliances will choose 2 battle items, will earn bigger battle rewards if an unexpected. Okay, contribution to. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. If an unexpected situation occurs, opponent is not found, matching system will use all members of the alliance with the basic victory reward as compensation. Okay, alliance ranking rewards. All participants, members, and alliance members will receive ranking rewards based on alliance final ranking at the end of pre-league. Cool. Playoff rewards. Battle rewards includes victory rewards, no match, 2 tiers, 1 for participating members. Alliance rewards are given. Okay, so this is more or less the same thing. Okay, alliance ranking rewards. All participating members. Oh, we already read this one. Personal. Participants who are ranked at the personal ranking will in both playoffs will receive corresponding ranking rewards. Activity rewards. After the playoffs begin, players can take part in the Illusion Battlefield Prime League side events, missions, lucky guess, turn activity rewards. Cool. Restrictions on leaving alliance or migrating servers pre-league during the registration. I mean, this makes sense, right? If you're going into a pre-league, to me this kind of makes sense. If you're locking in, I think when I look at Throne of the Supreme, I think to myself, okay, well, I mean, it's a solo event, right? It's not dependent on a team, so you can leave and migrate out of a server, and it'll just give that person an auto win or something like that. It might not be the most ideal, but I also don't think it's when you look at Throne of the Supreme compared to it being a solo versus team event, right? The team is more dependent on everyone showing up. A solo event is just you. The leader is not, so we have designated participants, substitutes are not allowed to leave the alliance or migrate to a different server. The alliance leader is also not allowed to dissolve the alliance pre-battle phase. Alliance members can leave the alliance or migrate to a different server. The alliance leader can also dissolve the alliance. During the last day of registration, at the battlefield, designated participants and substitutes are not allowed to leave the alliance or migrate to a different server. The alliance leader is also not allowed to disband the alliance. Okay, so I will say here, now that I've read all this, the reason I think this is important to not allow people to migrate, because if you are actively choosing to participate in this event, then you should know what the expectations are and what comes with that. So I think this is fine. Changes to regular league. Regular league is held once every 2 weeks. Registration period is changed to Saturdays 0 to 24. Alliances must choose a battle. Okay, so they're just changing a little bit of things for the regular IB. Choosing a battle schedule. Regular league has changed from having 4 battle schedules to 2 battle schedules. I actually think that's probably a little, I guess it's a little better if you're trying to consolidate, but alliances must choose either one or both of the 2 battle schedules. Alliances which choose battle schedules or rewards, both. Okay. Oh, I see, because they're basically saying, hey, we can get matched up at either time. I understand what they're doing. I don't know. I mean, I am somewhat of a fan of more options is better, but we'll see. Matchmaking will now take place on Sundays or UTC after registration ends. Illusion Battlefield shop, share the same shop. Participants can earn Violet coins from both regular and Prime League and use these Violet coins to purchase items. Battle rewards have changed to include Violet coin rewards. Alliances that choose both will get double. Okay, cool. Or Violet coins and gems. Nice. Okay, almost done here. League special topic. Illusion Battlefield special topic will be added to Daily Talk. So it looks like they're going to be trying to cover Illusion Battlefield and the Prime League there in Daily Talk. So that's pretty cool. Similar to what they were doing with, I think, not the 97 event, but the 136 event that they ended up doing when they announced the new region that came in as well to cover. Optimizations. Here we go. This is sometimes the good stuff. Legion of Frostborn for KvK added a map feature allowing players to see information about the maps competing servers are in, including occupation status, city production, city and checkpoint levels. This is pretty cool. I actually like this. If this is the way that I think it is, where they're able to kind of see how that other kingdom is set up and maybe what bonuses are allocated to what specific alliances, that may play a factor in just collecting the information. So maybe you don't necessarily need to make an account there to do it yourself. Alliance tactics added red dots to indicate which alliance tactics can be used or activated. I think anytime we're getting visual markers, always a win. Legion's vendor removed the purchase limit on ancient remnants, also increased the chance of obtaining immortal fragments when using ancient remnants. I guess I think this is good. I don't really see a downside to this. And if people were complaining about the limit, well, no limit now. So I actually think this is okay. TOTS for Throne of the Supreme. Interregional ranking rewards added unique artifact schematic fragments as rewards. The unique artifact schematic fragments available will change depending on the server's current season. Season 2, Julia. Season 3, Elizabeth. Season 4, Gilgamesh. Oh, so they're kind of applying like an arena season-like thing to Throne of the Supreme. Okay. Again, as long as they're not exclusive or something like that, because again, remember, not everyone can participate in TOTS, especially if you think about the people that are actually going to be able to win, at some of the higher levels if you have to make it farther. Right? But what I will say is that if they do, and this is the other side, if they do that, as long as you're making those available in Triumph of Fate, right, then that's okay. Supreme Trove added unique artifact schematic fragments to the Supreme Trove. The unique artifact schematic fragments available will increase depending on the server's current season. Season 2 unlocks. Oh, so Supreme Trove. Okay. So they're actually unlocking more. So they're okay, got it. So we're just applying more. Okay, here we go. Server migration restrictions. Promoted players can migrate servers, but they can only represent their original region in the competition, and their server ID does not change. Players who migrate servers can only participate in Lucky Guess for their original region. Okay, so this is good. So it looks like they're going to actually allow players to move and migrate out, right, in another portion or another stage of the event. New access button added to Throne of the Supreme access button to the events panel. Oh, that's nice. Lucky Guess optimize the algorithm for calculating guessing odds. Okay, if that's a visual change, then I think that's good if we can see that. Players can now use general speed up items, and artifact material speed up items to speed up the production of artifact materials. Interesting. Okay. I guess if they're going to start adding in speed ups for that, then that's cool. Migration power restrictions. This could be a big one. The system will dynamically adjust the migration power limit depending on the number of contention or relic cycles a server has run. Upon updating the power limit, the server will automatically set the power limit to its new maximum by default. Okay, as reading this is a little scary. However, what I will say is this was one of the things that was brought up in our kind of content PO Discord server, and we asked one of the reps there just for some clarification on this one. And essentially, what we found out is that again, if you I believe it's at the end, so not at the beginning. Let me just double check on this because I want to make sure I am reading the response correctly. So it looks like only if there's no king, right? So there's a new so if there's no king, and then it's when a new one finishes. So for example, when a new COR finishes, when it ends, that's when this would go, right? If there's no limit that is applied by the king. And from what we understand, this will carry over as well, even for the short period of time there is no king. So that should hopefully help answer that question. However, I'm still not a fan of it just automatically defaulting to the maximum. This is one of those things where it's, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And I just feel like they're adding in something here that just doesn't really need to be added, right? So this entire line item to me just doesn't really make any sense because the system already works well the way it is. Battle reports. New rally assist module. If either the attacker or defender has allies assisting them in battle, they can tap the details button to their allies' avatars to view more rally assist information. Okay, this is cool. Such as alliance flag, tech bonuses, basic information, unit details. Oh, this is cool. Wow. All right, that's actually pretty cool. Replays. After a replay ends, players will be able to automatically returned to the last screen they were on before watching the replay. Okay, I imagine this is pretty important. Equipment. When equipment capacity reaches 90%, a red indicator will be displayed on the item's icon to the main screen, reminding players to clear unneeded equipment. Okay, this is nice. A nice little kind of friendly, quality of life. Optimize the overall difficulty of the contention of relics to make it more compatible with players' current strength. I'm hoping this means that they're basically going to be lowering some of the power for the new 4th, 5th, and 6th rounds bump ups in power that they've done. And so I think that's really important. Balance adjustments, and this is something that we talked about as well in the dev meeting, so really nice to see this is something that's being acknowledged and being worked in right now. And then the very last thing, because we're pretty much at 22 minutes, almost 23, balance adjustments. Berserker, adjusted upgrade effect, physical damage percentage increase change to 10.5, 35. Oh, but see, this is important here. When we're doing balance adjustments, you have to list what was it before and now what it is after, so we can see what the change is. Same thing here. It's nice to know that these things have been increased, but we want to see what was it before and what is it after. World boosts. Servers which enter Season 2 will unlock the World Boost. Horn of Expedition, increasing building, upgrade speed, and Academy technology research speed by 50% for players on the server with castles below level 40. This is pretty cool, right? Where they're again, this is something that was a big takeaway from the dev meeting, which is that, look, there needs to be something added in, right? So if we're gonna keep increasing levels, or we're gonna end up still going to 60, we either need to add in more speed ups, more ways to increase Lord EXP, more events that can allow for players who again just cannot afford to pay or spend, more ways for them to contribute or engage in the game that can allow for them to upgrade things faster. And so this is, I think, a nice thing to do. Right, where they'll get this. So it looks like servers which enter Season 2. Oh, so maybe this is a passive thing. Or maybe it's a passive boost that kicks in. So if you're still under 40, you'll get this until you hit 40. Once you enter KvK Season 2. So if it is passive the way I'm reading it and what I'm anticipating, that's actually pretty cool. I thought maybe it would just be like some kind of king skill that you could use, which could have been cool too as well. Or maybe it lasts a day or something. Of that matter, right? So you can use that before you start upgrading your big techs or big upgrade buildings, right? That are going to take a long time to get that time deducted off. But this is still pretty cool if it ends up being a passive thing. Okay, that is it for us now. That's the full patch note read. Again, some really interesting standout pieces, and you obviously being able to hear me and my comments on some of them. I would love to know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Did you want to comment on something else that we read through? Maybe a different approach or different perception that you're looking at something that I read. Maybe if I looked at it differently, let me know. I love to hear and see and read anything and everything in those comments below. That's it for me. Until next time, I'll catch you later.